We've often complained on this channel that you have to have a degree in Disney in order to enjoy the park. Well, according to the New York Post, someone is offering that degree. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and I am here with Mr. Vash Sky. Vash, are you ready to go back to school, sucker?
I don't know about that. I'm trying to get an honorary degree from this university, but fine, Jonas. We'll go back together. How about that?
We'll let's go over here to the New York Post to find out what's really going on. Disney trips have become so overwhelming that tourists are paying for classes on how to plan them. This by Alex Mitchell. By the way, it's not Disney that's offering these the degrees. So, Bob, I don't want to give you another idea here, but maybe you could be the one upcharging people for this. You're so into that these days. But moving on, welcome to the most magical place on Earth 101. Trips to Disney World have become so complicated that families are paying to take classes on how to navigate the House of Mouse on top of the exorbitant costs just to enter the park. I knew it would be complicated, but I don't think I could have imagined the Disney Industrial Complex was this complicated. Teresa Brown, a New York City resident who went with family to Disney World in August, told the Washington Post last week the sheer brain power just to figure out the Disney lingo and the landscape is monumental, she added. That's why content creator Brooke Raybould sells a 200-page Mom's Guide to Disney World for $40. 200 pages, first of all. Wow. There's an entire system to doing Disney World the right way, Raybould told WAPO. Concierge travel planner Christine Andrade, I don't know, of Pittsburgh, is also in on the action. She hosts a $40 remote college class-esque Zoom tutorial on Disney planning. We've got a little pop quiz built in, she added to the outlet. It's there that you'll learn what was once a vacation is now a mad dash of pre-7 a.m. wake-up calls to beat lines and an unhealthy compulsion to constantly check wait times on your phone. Heaven help you if you don't bring a mobile phone charger, and more stress that makes the magic disappear from the kingdom. I've had people call me crying, trip planner Jackie Murphy of Kingdom Elite Travel told WAPO. This is amazing to me, and you should go check out the article if you want to learn more about New York Post's take. I'll try to remember to link it below. But Vash, why do people need a degree in Disney?
I mean, it's interesting. So my friend was like, "Hey, I'm going Disney for the first time in my life. I just need some tips on how to navigate my day." And I was like, okay, let's do it over breakfast or something like this. And there I was, and I was like, I don't know where to begin to describe the modern Disney experience. I mean, it really is a daunting task if you hadn't been keeping up with so many of these changes over the last 30 years.
Right. Well, let's just point out the days of showing up to the ticket center and buying a ticket and walking into the park. That is long gone.
Right. And that's just a fundamental get you in. And then once you actually have gotten in successfully to the Magic Kingdom or to Disneyland or whatever, that's when the real fun begins. So this is interesting because I believe Len Testa of the Disney Dish podcast and touring plans fame started getting into this on a very scientific level because I guess he had a bad experience at Walt Disney World. And he's like, there has to be a better way. And that's when he's developed this entire unofficial guide, which is unbelievably popular. I believe it's released every year. And
he does a great job with that, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's got guys counting people at the exits of attractions to see capacity, and he'll have these challenges that he'll put to teammates or even school students and so forth. Okay, hey, try to optimize your day, and let's see what data we can come up with. It is a fascinating process, but it has become so unbelievably complicated that yeah, I mean, you have to go to school. Which, by the way, Jonas, you gave me a great idea. Do you remember the Disney Institute?
Yes. Oh, I've seen a lovely apron from the Disney Institute. It's a wonderful family heirloom.
This was an idea hashed out by Michael Eisner in the mid-'90s to have college courses available to guests staying at Walt Disney World property. Eventually, that whole building and facility was transformed into the Saratoga Springs Resort, which is quite nice. But that was the grand plan for Michael Eisner. I say we go back to that idea and have a Disney Institute with just conducting yourself while in the parks. How about that?
Well, yes, behavior in the parks is a completely different subject. That yes, if they're telling you how to act around people, first of all, I don't know that I would trust Disney to be the one to teach you that anymore. But um,
Well, that was going to be class one, but I guess I see your point.
yeah, you know, if we're only talking about Lightning Lane, first of all, you have to have a phone to navigate
Absolutely.
the parks. This is because before you go, you need to have a reservation. If you're an annual pass holder, gone are the days of, oh well, I've got that Epcot pass that I can show up after 4 p.m. They'll just let me in, and you just do what you want, and no big deal. Um, I hear stories about Orlando families that would just say, oh hey, there's contemplating it over dinner, and they'll be like, you want to go get ice cream over in Italy or something? And they would be like, yeah, let's go do that. Let's be spontaneous and enjoy this wonderful creation of the
Whoa.
Walt Disney Company.
Whoa.
Like Dick Nunis making this wonderful Epcot experience. But now you have to have a reservation in order to get in the park. And I do understand there's Park Hopper now, which, by the way, the fact that there is Park Hopper and there are ways to get around it also speaks to the fact that you have to have a degree in Disney in order to understand how to get into the park, because that is not the first thing that they tell you. That is somewhere down the list of, oh well, you don't really need that. After you don't have your reservation for this, you really are stuck.
Yeah, I mean, it is fascinating just how much the Disney experience has changed, even in the last 4 years, but certainly over the last 15 or 20 years. I would say it really got out of hand with about the implementation of the first FastPass system. It was still approachable for sure, and while there were fights in the early days from people who didn't quite understand what was actually going on there, eventually it kind of I think people took to it in a very approachable fashion. But then when
Are you
Disney
talking
Plus was
about the original paper fast pass system?
the original paper FastPass system, that's correct.
Oh, see, I love that one. That was like an adventure to me, a little fetch quest within the park. But I was, of course, a very trustworthy member of my family. Yes, everyone, hand me your passes, and I will go and I will run to Big Thunder Mountain to get your fast passes.
See, and there's a simplicity there, right? But then when FastPass Plus is introduced, that's when things really start to get quite out of hand. I mean, there's a whole section in Defunct Land's famous FastPass video on this. People with spreadsheets and Google Sheets and Excel spreadsheets on how to navigate these systems right here. And then Disney, I believe, right before 2020, they were going to introduce a certain tiers of FastPass Plus reservations and so forth. So like Sync
Right.
Dog Dash would
Instead,
have a
they
separate
ended
tier
up,
of.
yeah. And then, of course, they ended up doing that, but they called them all the same thing. So that's very frustrating. Not to mention virtual queues, lightning lanes. Not to mention it's 6 months beforehand. If you get up at 7 a.m., you're able to make your reservation for your hotel stay. Or is it 6 months? See, this is the other thing. We had a debate on that park. Not a debate. We had a disagreement on that Park Place live, talking about when you actually had to get up in order to make the room reservations versus the dining reservations versus the fast pass reservations, which of course the fast pass is now gone. So this is all that part is apocrypha now. You just have to know it if you want to know just how bad Disney has messed this up.
Oh, and
So,
the Disney dining plan is, that causes more
oh yeah,
reservations to be utilized. Now you have less reservations to go around freely, right? You have to wake up at 4 a.m. at like 6 days in advance just to get those. Disneyland only has like 4 sit-down restaurants, so if you want one of those, you have to get up at 2 months before your trip. It is absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry, Josh.
yes.
Go ahead.
I agree, and we have to start wrapping this video up. But there's been a thing that our website right now covers theme park streaming, video games, and general entertainment. But we've often talked about, if we were more on the travel side of things, what would we want to do, and trying to cover the entire concept of how to enjoy a Disney vacation and the work that you have to put into it. It's also not that you do all of these things and then you show up at the park and you're carefree. No, you're faces in your phone the whole time. So you might actually be watching this video in a theme park right now. You could be watching this as you're strolling down Main Street, USA. Of course, if you're doing that, drop us a comment to let us know just how ironic all of that is. Of course, like this video if you like this video, and if you know someone who might benefit, especially if they're at the Walt Disney Company, from understanding just how ridiculous this problem has gotten, maybe share this with them. And of course, consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media account.